Hey, I want to say real quick, going back to shit we were watching or whatever, I want to say another thing about Creed. I'm messing with. That's another bit. Hey, I want to say thank you to the people who sometimes people will keep emailing me, hey, watch this thing, and sometimes they can reach a limit, like when it's a fucking Tarantino movie and they've been emailing you for a year.
Yeah.
That can reach its limit. But I had people kindly encouraging me to continue or watch more of the HBO show The Leftovers, which was Damon Lindelof's show. And I gave it a try when it first aired. It really felt like everyone was just really sad and talking really quietly to each other, like it was a college student's web series. I just really didn't like it.
I saw half an episode in a hotel room, I think with one of you guys when we were at some convention.
Yeah, it was.
And I didn't know what it was, and we were just making fun of it.
Yeah.
I thought it was some B movie, and I found like, that was The Leftovers?
You know what's funny is I've seen that episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I went back and I've watched it and I'm pretty much caught up now.
Yeah.
I went back and just watched as much of it as I could. And that one episode was actually supposed to be kind of off.
Oh.
Like, it's funny watching it now. I was like, in the context of the rest of it, that makes sense. But it's a kind of a screwy episode.
Yeah,
I do remember sitting in a hotel going, like,
what's
who
the
would
fucking
ever
point of
sit
this?
down and watch this?
Yeah, it was really hard to watch.
Bad.
That's a show, and now that I've seen it pretty much all until this point, that is better for marathoning it than on its own. Because, each episode on its own did not stand very well. That being said, anyway, the first season was very kind of dry, whatever. But the reason I picked it up was that the second season just started, and I saw an episode just on randomly. It was on TV somewhere, and it was very lost. There was some lost shit happening in that episode, and I was like, I didn't know the show kind of went here. And so now I've caught up, and it's great. It's really, really
like
great.
it?
I really like it.
Oh, weird.
It's a slow burn. But it's I'm really enjoying where it's at. It's right now where it's at is at the same level of mystery of Lost, where okay, now someone knows something, but we're so close to understanding what it is. And anyway, it's great. I'm enjoying it.
Lost was Damon Lindelof and Carlton Cuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Carlton Cuse is doing The Strain now,
I
right?
think he's working on The Strain. I'm
So
not sure.
that's what I'm
He's doing some
watching.
other show too.
I started season 2 of The Strain.
Oh, yeah?
And that show's really, really cool.
Really?
I really dig it. Especially the opener to this season had like a very Renaissance period, or, like back in time flashback. But you know how they would do that in Lost? There'd be like a whole episode that had a long montage of like them back in the fucking, way back in BC time or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There was like that quality of production in this pilot or this season premiere episode, and it's all Carlton Cuse. It has a very Lost feeling.
It's funny because The Leftovers is doing that too. There's been some insane flashbacks.
What if those guys are still like talking like?
there's great minds think alike, I guess.
That's
but
cool.
Anyway.
That and Evil Dead, Ash versus Evil Dead has just been awesome.
Has it?
Oh
Yeah.
I've been meaning to check that out.
I just kind of
I got
brushed
him.
it aside. What do you think about it?
Oh, it's like they took the storyline of a new movie and just put it in like 10 half-hour episodes, and I've seen the first 4 now, I think.
Yeah, because what I had heard was, I guess Sam Raimi did everything for the first episode. He directed it and
he
everything.
did.
And a lot of people told me it kind of lost a little bit of its spark in the following episodes because he wasn't handling everything and it was someone else doing it. Do you think that's true or no?
It's fit right in line, I think.
Really? Okay.
And I feel like, honestly, he can be a little too campy at times.
Oh, sure,
And
yeah.
ends up
It might
like-
be okay for Evil Dead, but in
Yeah.
general, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, even still, like, Evil Dead in a movie, it's like, it's one little thing, it's got, it's over. You can deal with it for a little bit, but I couldn't imagine 10 whole episodes of that same sort of camp.
Just Bruce Campbell being Ash with the machismo.
Yeah, everything has its limits.
There's a little of you get that. You get him being his chauvinistic self, definitely. But then there's a lot of new characters to break that up. Like and they kind of explain this like he's an older guy now. I mean, this is how many years after the other movie. So he's kind of like adopted these 2 kids to like team up with him, even though he feels like maybe I've been a lone wolf all along, but I need some help now. And they add like a lot of comic relief too. It's great for a show on Stars. I've never seen.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched Stars.
I don't think we were ever gonna get another Evil Dead film with Bruce Campbell in it, directed by Sam Raimi. I just didn't think that they've been trying to get that to happen for like 10 years. You've been hearing a buzz about that. At one point, it was an Ashton Kutcher remake. I mean, there is an Evil Dead remake.
Yeah.
But there was a point where they were going to get Ashton Kutcher to play. There was a big rumor about that.
Yeah.
Ash in a new movie. But this is what they came up with. Was Starz funded it, and they are doing this, season 1, and then it's already been greenlit for season 2 show. You're getting, Ash fighting Deadites with the comic relief and all the writing that felt like it came right out of the 3 movies, and a lot of ties. Like they've tied stuff from the first movie in. I just saw an episode where they tied some stuff from the second movie, and I didn't see much mentioned from there. But
Army of Darkness is like in a legal situation.
Yeah,
they don't have the rights to it, and they can't like show it or something.
Whenever they do flashback stuff, they use Evil Dead 1, which I thought was interesting because Evil Dead 2, production-wise, is a lot better looking on film. But they do a lot of flashback stuff, but only with the first movie.
Yeah, and I think there's a legal reason, but I read that they had to really dance around that. Like they really had to okay, you could say this because this happened in Army of Darkness, but you can't really show it, or you can't really.
I think Army of Darkness sucks.
Really? That was the first one
movie.
I ever saw.
Me too.
I didn't know there were
Me too.
prequels.
Me too.
And that's why I never watched the first 2 for so long because I didn't like Army of Darkness.
I just didn't know they existed.
I
That
saw
made me
them
wanna
all.
watch them.
Yeah.
I saw them all in when they did Midnight Movie, whatever,
Yeah, we
a
went to
few
a couple
years
of
ago,
those.
and I enjoyed them all. I had a good time. Army of Darkness was cheese, but I enjoyed it.
Me and my sister rented Army of Darkness from Blockbuster. Every couple of years, we'd remember oh yeah, that one movie. Let's get it.
Yeah.
And we would. I watched it, and as a kid, I think
being younger, especially
being younger, that movie's really funny, and
Yeah.
it's just got this adolescent humor. It's silly. And then it's got these cool monster, and I love monster movie stuff.
Yeah.
So it's got the makeup effects and everything, and tons of gore. Then, becoming an actual fan of film, I found out, whoa, this fucking campy thing I liked when I was a kid has 2 legitimate horror prequels.
Yeah.
Splat stick horror, I mean, for the second one, but they definitely went way up higher on my list.
Okay.
I don't dislike Army of Darkness, but it is last place when it comes to Evil Dead 2, Evil Dead.
Yeah, I think the first one is this independent horror movie, and the second one is a mainstream horror adventure, almost like comedy.
Well, I think he kind of realized that people were laughing in the theater at the stuff.
But the third one
he
kind
amped it
of
up.
pushes too far into comedy, not really taking itself seriously.
Yeah.
And honestly, just kind of could be described as stupid towards the end of it. It just devolves into a little bit stupid.
Well, it is. You do run the risk of. I had a good time watching it, but it does run the risk of things can get so silly that you can't hold interest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And that movie, I could see that. Kind of by the end, I could see that. I had a good time, but I felt that's how I felt about that was my big issue with Crank 2. Is I think Crank 1 was a great mix of this is stupid but exciting.
Yeah.
And the second one was so many gags that just personally I couldn't maintain interest in it. It's I know everything you do is just silly. I know, and I could see Army of Darkness like that. I think I went into it not really maybe expecting much, and so I had an okay time. But anyway, some movies can sometimes push that too far, especially sequels. Sequels always feel like they need to. We got to go the extra step, and it's
Amp it up to 11.
Yeah, maybe you don't.
The show definitely doesn't get too campy like Army of Darkness did at times.
Yeah.
It has the flow of a show, half hour to half hour.
I really wish we would have named it something differently.
Ash versus the Evil Dead is...
I think that's the worst name for a show.
Really?
Yeah.
I
don't like
I don't
it.
need to think about it.
Yeah,
It
that's
really-
so off my radar. I'm baffled that bothers
It
you.
really bothers me. I don't know. Thank
The
you.
only thing that bugs me is they use CG blood and stuff a little too heavily. They have practical.
It's pretty easy to use.
But there's a lot of practical effects they use in it. And that's me coming from being interested in makeup effects.
Hey, you know what?